Hey guys, welcome to my upper body dumbbell specific dominant workout. So first things first, we're going to do 3 sets of 12 for all workouts, meaning 3 times on each exercise before moving on to the next one with 12 reps. Taking your time on this one. It is not a fast workout. You want to go slow, do your 12 reps, take 30 seconds to a minute break, and then repeat the process before moving on 3 times to the next exercise. Very first one we're going to do is going to be called an Arnold press. So standing upright, supporting your body, you're going to start facing your fingernails. You're going to drive it up, twisting it out and around, exhaling until you lock it all the way out above your head. Notice your fingernails go from facing you at the bottom of the end, elbows high, twisting it out to fingernails facing forward. So you do an entire 180 as you press it up. So the big trick is not to rotate and then press it up, but to press as you're rotating. Next one we're going to go into is a shrug. This one is a slow, controlled move like all the other ones, but you want to get a nice pause at the top, driving your shoulders straight into your ears, keeping your arms straight and not bending your arms. Exhale as you drive it up, squeezing it into your ears, straight up and not rolling it forwards or backwards, and slowly dropping it back down. Here's another angle looking at me, keeping your head up. Very important you don't look around on this one. If you look around, you can have tightness in one side of the neck, giving you a little bit of a crank in it. Once again, slow, controlled, making sure it's not dropping it. It can pull that arm out of socket, and do a lot of damage if you just drop the weight. Plus, you get a lot more out of that movement by a controlled, slow, steady movement. Moving along, if you have a mat or a nice carpet, you're welcome to use that. Otherwise, I would get a nice flat surface, somewhere where you get a little bit of room. We're going to lay on our back, starting with our dumbbells sitting upright like this. From here, go ahead and bend your knees. It's going to keep your back extra flat during this process. And then you keep your elbows close to your side as you curl it up and into your chest line. And then from here, you're going to open up your elbows so they're facing outwards wide. Not necessarily all the way up so it's at a 180. You have a little bit of an angle inwards, but then you're going to keep it over basically your chest line, your nipple line, if you will. Exhale as you press it up, squeezing from your chest. Inhale on the way back down. Notice I make 2 90-degree angles. Let the elbows touch all the way on the floor. I don't let them go too far out with my wrist. See those 90s right there? And I don't let them go too inwards. They stay above my humerus or my lower part of my arm the entire time, locking my wrist out. Once again, that knee bend does a nice extra amount to make sure you don't arc that lower back. Focus on your exhale and keep it over your chest. A lot of people like to look at it, so they'll put it over their head. You want to make sure that you're keeping it over that chest line. Same story. We're going to do 3 sets of 12, meaning you do your 12 reps, you take a break, breathe, relax, go back to the position, do 3 sets of 12, do one more set of 12, go back, rest, and then do the last one for another set of 12, same weights. And then you can take a minute or so break between your next exercise and you move on to the next one. And the next one is going to be a wide bent over row. So notice my knees are bent, my butt is out, and my back is flat. I'm driving from my elbows, exhale, squeezing it. Good picture you want to paint is that you're trying to connect your elbows behind your back, emphasizing that squeeze at the top and slowly controlling it on the way back down. Once again, you want to keep your wrist nice and flat, nice and straight, if you will, and keeping your back flat and your chest towards the ground. As you row it, you may want to come up a little bit more. Make sure you stay leaned into it and adjust as you do it if need be. Slow, controlled. Notice that big squeeze. My shoulder blades pinch at the top as well. And I keep my knees bent to allow that blood flow to return a little bit better. 3 sets of 12. Take your break. And we're going to lay back down on the ground. So we did push. We're back to pull. Now we're back to push again. This time we're going to do a chest fly. So it's the similar position where we're laying on our back. Our knees are bent. We curl our arms up. And you're going to go out first. Bring them above you, starting in this position. So in this case, now our fingernails are facing inwards towards each other. And we're going to open the gates wide over your chest nipple line, if you will, with a little bend in your arm. Go all the way to your elbows touch the ground. Exhale and squeeze from your chest. Now notice there's a small bend in my arm. It's not locked out, but it is wide all the way out. It's not bent either. You have just a little bit enough of a bend so you take the weight out of your joints and put it more into your chest line, more in the muscle, if you will. Once again, exhale as you squeeze and inhale as you open the gates. If you feel your back starting to arc, you'll see me bend my knees to kind of give you an example. See how it really flattens that back. You can see my stomach come down a little bit more. And I'm controlling this motion, nice and slow. This one will definitely be a little bit harder than the press. So if you have different weights, you're welcome to change the weights on the different movements or just do a little bit of volume. If you have a lighter weight, but you feel it's too light, just do a few more reps if need be. Your goal is that 3 sets of 12, but it's relative to what you have to work with today. Final movement is a cross-body tricep extension. Notice that I do it one arm at a time. You get the most out of it. But make sure you do it evenly on both sides. Even if you're not getting that full range, take a few seconds, go back and make it even. Support your arm upright so that the humerus, or the lower part of the arm, is facing the ceiling. You can use your arm as support by putting it right at the bend of the lower side of the arm. Keeping my wrist straight, I go all the way into my chest and not into my head. I exhale and I kick it all the way back up from 90 degrees to 180. Now, if for some reason you don't have a lighter weight, because this is going to be much harder than any kind of press or any kind of squeeze that you did from before, you can also just do it two-armed instead of one. And you'll see that in just a second, and you can turn it into what's called a French press, also known as a skull crusher to some. And that's where you grab it by both sides. And this time you will go into your face, but you want to make sure you have a really solid grip on this one because you don't want to drop that into your head. The last thing you want to do. Notice this time my elbows are facing more towards my knees, towards my feet. And then I'm bending it in towards my head, keeping my wrist straight. Exhaling as I drive it up and inhaling on the return. All of these movements need to be done slow and controlled. Remember that 12 rep range is a good number to kind of focus on for this one, and you want to do 3 on each exercise before going on to the next one, not 3 circuits of the entire thing. Hope you guys enjoy the full body, upper body in this case. Dominant especially. It's got a nice heavy volume. It's a hypertrophy style of training, and have a fantastic day and enjoy.